Yo, what's up, Rider Gang? Yo, it's your boy BRYEEE back with another, you already know what it is, banger. Yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Yo, story time, the truth behind Bad Girl 7. Now we all know, seven a feisty one. We found Cypher a feisty one. I've been sleeping on this vid for a minute, kind of because it's like a half hour, 48 seconds. But I've been sleeping on this vid for a minute. I've been kind of ducking and dodging watching it, but I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of answers into maybe more the person that she is. Maybe just see what's going on in her mind. You know, nothing judgmental or anything over here. Just, you know, just kind of everything seeing and stemming into the woman that she is today. You know what I'm talking about. Yo, without further ado, we're not here for the long intro, baby. Let's get it let's go.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. We'll have Hey Seven Nation. I'm tired of saying hey guys, but then I still say it every time. So today, you guys are getting a vlog. I asked you guys on live last night, do you guys want a vlog? You guys said yes, so here we are. And this vlog today is gonna be about the situation with me stabbing baby daddy, because I think that is...
Yo, if y'all ain't, my fault to interrupt the vid. Yo, if y'all ain't see the last vid I did, not the Geo and King Sid reaction, but if y'all ain't see the last vid that I did before that, the reaction to her prank on her mom where she pretended to stab her baby daddy Taliban, she actually mentioned in the vid that she actually really stabbed him like on some real before. And like my face, I'm just there like, oh! Like I was surprised because I'm just like, first of all, that's wild as fuck. Second of all, like you just copacetic with that. Like that's really crazy. But anyway, I guess you better go get some answers right now, so let's get it.
Something that we should talk about. One, because domestic violence is a very big problem.
Not okay.
All over the world.
Big problem. Guidelines.
Because I see some people, they think it's funny, but I don't know, you know, you're reacting with me. And we laugh about it because, you know, we've already went through the emotions of the situation, and that's just how we cope with it. You'll notice that with me and my family as we go on, my sisters, my mom, you know, we laugh at a lot of our pain, whether it could be the worst thing in the world that nobody will find funny. We have a very weird sense of humor. But just growing up, I've learned that you gotta laugh about a lot of things because... That's
fair, yeah.
You know,
yo, people be sometimes taking themselves too seriously, yo. Like real talk, sometimes people be taking themselves too seriously. Like even some of y'all in the comments, y'all be like, yo, y'all you slow as fuck, blah blah blah. Like it's all jokes, you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody says something like left side to me or anything, like out of left field or whatever, I'm not gonna take it serious. It's YouTube, like it's all fun and shit. This is all entertainment, comedy. I'm making shit for y'all react to it, y'all like it or whatever the case may be. So you know, it's all good. Like you know, you can't always take everything too seriously, you know. If y'all take one thing today, don't take yourself too seriously. Always remember to laugh at yourself. Unless it's domestic violence. No, I'm playing.
It's not much I can do. I can't change it. So making light of the situation helps us all move forward, you know, as a group. I think you know, it's easier to laugh and cry.
True.
So, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. Because I don't want you guys to think that that's okay. Because it's not okay. We're not laughing because it's okay. We're laughing because we weren't laughing when it happened. Nothing was funny about it when it happened. We're laughing because, you know, it's the way we heal each other. So 3 things you should know about me before we get fully into the story is that 1, I am a very emotional person. I tend to lead with my emotions. I'm not a thinker. I don't stop and think. I instantly just react off emotions.
Real talk, shout out to her. Like real talk, shout out to her. My fault to interrupt the video again. Shout out to her. It's very rare that you see somebody just kind of put themselves out there like that. It's very rare that you see somebody who's that self-aware or self-critical. So honestly, I shout out to her. I give her the utmost respect for that. They're like, me personally, I'm a thinker. I'm not a very emotional person. I'm a thinker, and I'm aware of that. And so the fact that she's aware that she's not a thinker, she's more of an emotional person, I feel like that's real. And I mean, honestly, I feel like especially in your early 20s, you really got to take the time to understand yourself. Like, you know, before even before you, like, you know, you get into a serious relationship or anything like that. I think it's just very important you know, you just understand yourself, how you work, so at least you could put the other person on. You know what to look for in certain relationships, you know what to look for in yourself, you know what to expect of yourself, you know what you need to work on for yourself, you know, that jazz, yo.
And that's gotten me into a lot of trouble in my life. You know, when I look back and I reflect on everything, it's always been my emotions that have just taking me over the rail. 2 is that I have really, really bad anger problems. I get so angry and I don't even remember what I do half the time. When I get angry, normally I need a play-by-play afterwards. I black out. My family, they say they don't even like to see me that way because I look like a totally different person when I'm angry. They don't recognize me. And there's nothing or nobody that can calm me down once it's already over the edge. And 3, with those 2 things being said, is that I'm a really, really good person. I'm a pretty great person, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not I don't have a mean bone in my body. I'm not a mean-spirited person. I'm not a mean girl. So, I don't know how to deal with mean people. I don't know how to be mean back, you know? I don't know how to be verbally abusive. I know how to fight.
This actually reminds me of the vid that we reacted to. I'm gonna tag it. I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna add it in like the tag videos. But I remember we reacted to a vid. It was another story time with Sev. I think it was like her Miami trip or something like that, where she was talking about how there was like some girl at the club that was drunk as hell and like she lost her phone and she was wilding on people and shit like that. And then Seven, who don't even know this girl, trying to help this girl, like, yo, here's your phone, take your phone, da 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 da. And this girl taking the phone and then throwing it around and like just acting all crazy. And it literally wasn't until that this girl hit Seven that Seven even touched her. So mind you, this girl drunk as hell, acting a fool, stumbling all over the place, calling people out, shit like that. And Seven just been mad, calm, cool, and collected until she gets hurt. Like something gets a hand put on her. So I feel like, honestly, like, shout out to her. So I definitely agree. She definitely, I don't know her from a hole in the wall, obviously, but just based off that, she a pretty good person.
And that's why I fight, because I know that I'm good at it. Like, you know, you hurt me emotionally. Like baby daddy cheating, for example, it hurt me emotionally, and I can't do that back to him because I don't like, you know, physical pain. Like if I punch you and I hit you or I stab you, you can heal from that. I feel like when you inflict emotional pain on people, there's some things that, you know, you can't heal from.
That's some real shit.
So I try not to.
That's some real shit.
Make people feel that way because I just don't like it, you know. There's enough going on in people's lives to just be out here inflicting more and more emotional pain on people. So, before we get deep into this conversation, I want you guys to understand that in no way, I'm using baby 6 socks, sorry, y'all already have me emotional. In no way is this a bashing baby daddy video, and if I see you guys bashing him in the comments after I said this part, I'm going to block you. One thing you should know about me is that the internet and all this stuff, you know, it's cool, it's fun, but I can do without it, you know. The minute I feel like it's getting too much or it's affecting my family life, I'll just stop doing it, you know. And that's not to say I don't care about you guys, but my family life is more important to me.
Gotta make that distinction, 100%. Like, I feel like the video with DDG just made with the truth about him and German girl, like, to a point where, like, people were, like, harassing him and harassing German girl. Like he said it, he put it plain out there, like, yo, I did it for the views. Like, we don't have a relationship. Like, I did it for the content. I did it for y'all. Like, y'all wanted her to come out, I flew her out. Like, but then the minute that it just makes that crossover and starts impacting his real life or her real life, that's when you gotta cut it, because it's not worth it at that point. Seven's talking about the same thing.
So this is not a baby daddy fashion video. These are things that we've already worked through and things that we're past. And I think that after this video, we're not going to talk about it anymore. We're not going to talk about the stabbing situation anymore. We're not going to talk about his past infidelities anymore. I've given him one more chance, and he knows that if he messes up this time, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have to separate, and that's just that. But I want to make sure, you know, I wanted to make sure that when I gave him this last chance, that I was handling this last chance properly. I was handling myself properly, or let's just go into the details and then we'll get to that, because I know a lot of you also have questions. Oh, well, why did you let him cheat? It's not so much as letting him
let him cheat. Whose dumbass asked that question, bro?
Let me give you the tour.
Let him. Oh my god.
You know, we'll talk about it later in the video. So, here we go. When I was 3 months pregnant, I'll start with the beginning of me and Taliban. Me and Taliban met, and instantly we hit it off. Like, we were, I know everybody's like, oh my god, they slept together on the first night. Yeah, it was my first time doing that. But,
It be like that
we
sometimes.
left each other after that. We were inseparable.
Yo, honestly, real talk, like, this is kind of outside of what she's talking about, but I just want to touch on a topic real quick. Stop bashing ladies who sleep with guys on the first night. Stop it. I feel like we're past that now. This isn't the this isn't the 20th century where, like, you know, everybody's waiting until marriage and things like that. That's not the case. Feel however you want to feel about that, but that's not the case. That's just not how it is anymore. Stop bashing ladies for sleeping with dudes on the same night. There's a lot of times, and I'm not even gonna speak on myself because that's nobody's business, but there's a lot of times where, like, there's just these girls feel like a real connection with a dude, for, you know, whether that's their real personality or the guy's putting on the front or whatever the case may be. But, like, if there's just sometimes, like, you just really hit it off with a person, you know, it's a dope dude, you a dope shorty, you guys have a lot in common. There's just the sparks are there, you know what I'm saying? The sparks are there, and just, like, if you feel that real connection, and then, you know, the physical attraction is there, the vibe is there, the lust is there, like, why not? You know, and obviously it's good for the guy, but I feel like it's equally good for the girl. I mean, like, if she felt a real connection and she wanted to be physically passionate with him, then, I mean, there shouldn't be a problem. There shouldn't be no bashing. There shouldn't be no hate. There shouldn't be no slander. That double standard just shouldn't even exist anymore, in my opinion. You know what I'm talking about? It just shouldn't even exist.
Literally loved him from the second that I met him. I knew that he was the person I wanted to be with. I knew that I wanted to have kids with him. I knew that I finally found my match. You know, I just felt this safeness and this comfort with Taliban that I've never felt with any man. Not my dad, not any man in my life have I felt that with. And I felt like I was somewhere safe. He felt like home for me. And so when he went to jail, he was initially supposed to do a year in jail. But something happened paperwork-wise where he accidentally ended up doing more time than he was supposed to.
Damn.
So we ended up doing 2 years together. You know, I didn't miss a visit. I never missed a phone call. I went to see him twice, sometimes 3 times a week, and his jail was like an hour and a half away from where I was.
Damn.
But I still made it work, and I still made it happen.
Some real shit.
I didn't sleep with anybody else. I didn't kiss anybody else. I didn't touch anybody else.
See, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, most guys, like, in the mentality now would have been like, oh, she let me fuck on the first night, nigga. She a thought. Like, you can't really think like that, bro. You really can't think like that. Because, I mean, like, you just heard that shit. Like, literally, mans was in jail. You know how many bro, I know so many females who niggas went to the fucking army fighting for our fucking country and cheating on niggas, bro. Period. Like, she out here, her man is in jail, bro. Her man is in jail. She don't know if he gonna get killed in there. Her man is in jail, bro, and she's still holding it down. That's tough. That's tough. I fuck with her for that. That's tough. She get round of applause, bro.
There was nobody else. There was just Taliban. I had tunnel vision. It took a big toll on my body. When he left, my weight just dropped drastically. I went from like 150 down to 120.
Damn.
So it showed in my body that I was stressed because I missed him. It showed in my body that I was stressed because I was, you know, spreading myself thin. You know, I would do hostings at the time because Bad Girls Club had just aired. So I would go to my visit, drive to New York for a hosting, or go to my visit, go to my hosting. It was just a lot. So it showed in my body, and it showed everywhere. Yeah, I sent money when his friends didn't. Because people forget about you when you go in there, and they did. They forgot about him. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it to spare anybody's feelings, but they forgot about him. They acted like he did not exist.
That's
and
tough, bro.
whatever, that was okay with me, but that meant that I was left to pick up that extra slack. So time went on, and you know, we knew his return date was coming, so I went and got us an apartment, nice apartment in Silver Spring. And I went and picked him up one day, and boom, he was home. When he got home, it was just happiness, pure happiness. We were in our apartment, we were spending time together, we just were doing what couples do. And then after a month, you know, we were just trying for a baby. We wanted to have a baby because we already talked about this. We had 2 years of doing nothing but talking. We knew what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it, and Taliban is a thinker, so he had everything planned out, even if I didn't know about it. But yeah, so I say that to say, when I was 3 months pregnant and I caught him cheating on me for the first time, it crushed me like big time. It was a hard pill to swallow, because it was like I did everything, you know, when you know you did everything you could for somebody and they still slap you upside your face. It's a hard pill to swallow. So I remember he was out all night the night before, and so he slept on the couch because I had accused him of it before he left out that night. And I was just waiting. Taliban's one of those people you gotta straight up have proof, or Taliban ain't do shit. And even when you have proof, Taliban's still gonna try to say I didn't do shit. So got the proof from the girl. She sent everything. We had a nice little conversation. She apologized. She had no idea, so I wasn't mad at her.
Damn.
I went and I punched him in his eye out of his sleep, and I gave him the phone and I showed him the messages of his conversation with the girl.
Who's that lady?
Blah, blah, blah.
Who's that lady?
And then I went and I closed the room door, and I got on the phone with Brooke, and I called Brooke, and I was hysterical. I was just crying, and you know, she always says, you just said, I can't believe he did this to me. And then I just said to her, he got me fucked up, and she said I hung up the phone on her. I must have walked into the kitchen, and I grabbed a knife, and I charged after him with the knife. Thank God he had a couch cushion, because my couch had 6 other holes in it besides the 2 that I put in him, or else I might have killed him. So it's not funny, and it's not, you know, something that I'm proud of. I hit him in his thigh. I missed his artery in his thigh by 8 centimeters. 8 centimeters, I could have ruined my life. By 8 centimeters. I could have been having my baby in jail. By 8 centimeters, I could have taken my son's father away from him. It's a very selfish thing to do. But I hit him up here somewhere, near his eye. And it wasn't until I heard him like scream did I like snap back out of it, and I just dropped the knife on the floor and I walked away. And I peeked back out the room, and I just saw blood everywhere. Like, well, what made me peek back out the room is because my hands were bloody. And then when I walked back out the room, I saw just blood on the walls, blood on the floors, and I could smell it. You know, blood, when it's that much, has a really strong stench. So I started panicking. I was watching a lot of Grey's Anatomy at the time, because there was nothing to do but be pregnant and watch TV. And so I tied something above and below the womb, because I couldn't remember if it was above or below. So I just tied it on both places. Then I called Brooke, and I was panicking, because Brooke is the one I call when I get into trouble. I don't know why. She's my younger sister, but I was panicking. I'm like, what do I do? And then I noticed that he started to kind of passed out a little bit. So then I really started panicking because I'm like, okay, I can't call the ambulance. Because if I call the ambulance, they're going to come up here and it's clearly going to be a murder scene. But I can't let him die. So my pregnant self, I dragged him out the apartment, down to the car.
Ooh,
put him in the car, and I drove him to the hospital myself. Yeah, when we got to the hospital, he didn't want me around anymore. He was like scared of me. They stitched him up. They didn't really ask too many questions because I had to sit outside the whole time because he didn't want me there. He was scared of me at that point, I guess. So I called my mom on the way to the hospital, and I was letting her know that he's not really conscious. I was slapping him and trying to get him to wake up most of the time. But she said the same thing, that we're just going to say that he was abusing you and you were defending yourself. Well, really, it's not what happened, but...
Bro, that is so...
It's a ride or die. It's a real ride or die.
That is so
chick.
wrong, man. Honestly, would y'all stay in a relationship like that, real talk? Like, would y'all stay in a relationship like that where you know that if you were to ever get stabbed by your girl, these niggas would make some whole cockamamie story to fucking make you out to look like the bad guy so you could get no type of justice, bro? I don't know. That shit is crazy, bro. That shit is different, bro.
So, that's really it. Afterwards, we went home and we acted like nothing happened, He apologized for cheating. And he felt like he deserved what happened to him. I didn't feel that way because I was extremely disappointed with myself. They always call me the crazy girl growing up in school or boyfriends or family. Like, I've always been considered the crazy one. But you don't realize, like, okay, you really might be crazy until you do something really crazy. Fighting is semi-normal. Beating up a boyfriend, it's not okay, but it's normal.
Yeah, stabbing,
picking up a knife and trying to kill somebody.
Stabbing somebody is definitely different.
I was really down about that because, yeah, I could have ruined my life, over something so stupid. I could have ruined my life. I could have been having my son in jail. I could have killed the father of my child and then had to explain that to my son later in life, So, I wanted to go see a therapist after that. I never got around to it, but I just kind of like shut down a little bit. I was just really sad my entire pregnancy because in that moment I had thought, when I got back from the show, I had thought that I did a 360 and I had thought that I changed and I thought that I was being better because I wasn't fighting. I wasn't doing all the things that I had done as before that. I wasn't partying and drinking and hanging out and just doing things that I wouldn't normally do. It's, personally, I just got really stressed out at one point and I made a lot of mistakes that I wouldn't have made. So to think that you changed and that you were doing better in life and then in one moment backtrack so far was really hard for me. And so sorry, y'all. See, laughing, it helps. And so it took, that situation took a toll on me, and the only way it stopped taking a toll on me was, to start making light of the situation, to start laughing about it. Because I almost ruined my life, Yeah, that's pretty much the story. That's pretty much how it went. As you can see, I don't actually find what happened funny. I hate talking about it, but It's the only way I can talk about it and don't, you know, get like this every time. As far as him cheating goes, because I know we got our super strong women who don't take no BS and leave on the first because their feelings were hurt. As far as the cheating goes, I don't know why I allowed him to cheat, you know, because I think, you know, at the end of the day, they only do what you allow. It's like every time he did it, I just wanted to understand him. I wanted to understand why. And it got to a point where I had to look at myself like, okay, you know what? And it was after I had 6. It took a long time. Like, once I had 6, I would just sit and I would look at him. He would be out working or something, so he wouldn't be around. So it would just be me and 6, and I would just be thinking, like, I always had, you know, I suffered from depression a lot as a kid. So I always had this sadness in my gut, like no matter what was going on around me, I could be having the best day of my life, but there was always this sadness in my gut that I couldn't shake, no matter what I did, no matter where I went, no matter who I went with. Taliban got rid of it for me when I met him. For a long time, I was really happy with him. And then, you know, when all the stuff started, of course, it went away. But when I had 6, it was like a light switch. I was happy. And not happy for the moment, but that sadness that always just kind of sat there in my gut, it was gone. I genuinely was just like all around happy. And not to say go have kids, because it's not going to be the same for everybody. So what worked for me may not work for you. So don't be just having babies because you think it's going to make you happy, because it's not, because it still took a lot of work, you know.
Y'all getting this, y'all?
But I would just be sitting with 6 in my arms, and I would just be thinking, and I would be like, you know, why did he cheat on me, or what did I do? Because when I was pregnant, it was, what did I do wrong to make him cheat? You know, I would think back on like what I could have added to it, or.
That's how you know somebody really love you, bro. Real talk. When they not even trying to like outwardly blame you, they more just kind of like looking at themselves. Like, yo, how can I improve? How can I be better? That's really, like, that's deadass somebody who love you, bro. Like, no cap. That's really somebody who fuck with you.
And what I came up with is that, you know, I spent so much time.
Hey, whoa, BRYEEE on the beat. Oh, I was about to snap, nigga. I was about to fucking snap.
Whether it was going to court with him, or staying with him while he was in jail, or just everything I did for him, I spent so much time proving my loyalty to him that I forgot that he had to do the same thing. That he had to prove his loyalty to me as well.
It's big facts.
And I forgot to make him do that because, like I said, I had made a lot of mistakes that I wasn't proud of, and I was trying to prove to myself that I could be good. I was trying to prove to him that I could be good because he knew about my mistakes, and I forgot to make him prove himself the same way that I was proving myself. And that is what I think made it easier to forgive him. And that's not me blaming myself. That's me saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this relationship with you one last time, but now I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to try it where you have to work for me, where you have to prove to me, where you have to go the extra mile for me, because I've always done that for you. So now it's his turn to prove his loyalty to me, and it's his turn to prove his love to me, and it's his turn to build this into, you know, whatever it is that he wants it to be. And he knows that he has one last chance to do that. Like, I don't have it in me anymore. Quite frankly, bored of going through the same, oh, you cheated again story. You know, after a while it gets repetitive and you just get like, I don't care. You know? And I don't want to get to that point with him because I love him to death. He's my best friend. He's just a shitty friend. Just kidding. But yeah. We have now switched roles, and I'm now making him work for me the same way I work for him and put the same effort in for me that I put in for him.
That's tough. That's tough.
I mean, if he doesn't, that's okay. That's absolutely fine with me. We don't have to be together to raise a child together. If he does, even better. We'll have a lifelong happiness, run off into the sunset, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I don't want you to think it's okay to beat up your boyfriend or definitely not stab people because you can go to jail. And I also don't want you to think it's okay to sit around and let somebody cheat on you. You know, I have had my weak moments, and when I had 6, I knew that I just didn't want to be weak anymore. It wasn't something I can't be, you know, I can't be sad. And I think that's, you know, how he got away with it a lot after I had 6, because I stopped focusing on the relationship. The relationship was the least of my worries after a while. If it wasn't about 6, then I really didn't care. So, yeah. That's where we are. That's where we are. It's a process. Healing is a process. I still hurt. Of course, obviously, I still hurt. But I think it's time to stop talking about it, you know? I think that it's time to stop bringing it up. It's time to stop making it a thing. Because if you don't want it to be a thing anymore, just stop making it a thing.
Yo, I don't know if I mentioned this to y'all, but that's really like a big thing. That's just super important what you just mentioned about, like, a lot of times we as cravers of attraction, we as like cravers of human contact, a lot of times we might put things together in our mind that might not necessarily be beneficial for us, where it's just kind of like, I know a lot of times like you might meet a girl, you might meet a guy, and right away you're just so infatuated with what they could be. You're infatuated with their potential, and a lot of times people don't really live up to their potential, or they don't turn out to be what you wanted. So I feel like it's a lot of times we need to come clean with ourselves in terms of what we really want and what we really deserve. You know what I mean? So just like you gotta look inside yourself, and you gotta really look inside that person if you want to take them seriously. Of course, if you want to take them seriously.
So now that I've kind of like clarified this up with you guys and gave you guys an understanding that, you know, we're not necessarily laughing that I stabbed him. It's just we've already had our time to process. But it is the most disappointing time in my life. It's more embarrassing to me than getting cheated on. It is the worst thing that I've ever done. Yeah, definitely the worst thing I've ever done.
Damn, it's tough.
And I'm good. I want to be good. I strive to be good, but me, like everybody else, sometimes life just kind of gets the best of you, and that's okay. You just gotta be able to understand that it can't always be that way, you know? So, I am a little lady, a little mommy lady, you know, figuring out how to be okay, like, no matter what's happening. Like, I want to be able to, the room to be burning around me, you know, the Twitter meme where they're like, oh, the room's on fire, but this is me, you know. I want to learn how to be okay with being okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be hurt, but it's not okay to let it consume you, you know?
Real talk.
My pain doesn't consume my life. I just don't like to talk about it because it makes me so emotional. I told you guys I'm already emotional. Like, so, yeah, anybody who is, you know, has gone through what I've gone through or feels even remotely close to what I feel, there is a big light at the end of the tunnel. My light is 6. Your light may be something different. But I'm better, you know? I'm not reacting with emotions. I'm thinking, you know? I'm stopping and thinking. There was actually a situation that happened with baby daddy, and it could have been an atomic bomb with the 07. I mean, boom, in public. It could have been pretty bad, and I'm still shocked that I just walked away. Still,
shout out to self-control.
Surprised me till this day that I did that, but I did it, you know? And I'm proud of myself for doing it. You know, I don't care what anybody thought about it or anybody felt about it. I didn't make a mistake that could potentially ruin mine and my child's life. So, we're glowing and growing over here, and that's just what it is.
On period.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you know, to people who've gone through domestic violence, if you ever for a second felt like we were being insensitive, because that's not, you know, what we were being. I honestly was surprised when he brought it up in the mukbang, because I thought that we were never going to talk about it. We didn't even tell his family or friends what actually happened. Only my family knew what happened. And, yeah, just, we're working on being better to each other, you know? Because we haven't, I've been good to him, but there's room for improvement on both sides, you know?
Yo, shout out to her maturity.
We're working on being better to each other.
Shout out to her maturity, real
talk.
talk.
And if that doesn't work, then we'll just be good parents. I hope that even, you know, God forbid it doesn't work out, I hope that we can be friends. And I hope that we can just be good parents to 6, no matter what. So that's what we are. We love each other. I don't doubt the Taliban loves me. I just think that, you know, Taliban has been able to get away with a lot in his life. And, you know, his family loves him so much, y'all. He can do no wrong in their eyes. But I think that they forgot to hold him accountable a lot of the time. So
that's tough.
We're reteaching each other, you know, valuable things that we weren't taught in life. Like Taliban is teaching me to control my emotions, because my emotions get me in trouble a lot. And I'm teaching him to just have a little bit more compassion for people, a little more heart and a little more soul, you know, and to think about more than just himself. And I think that 6 is that key between the both of us.
That's tough.
That is.
I like that.
That is gonna do that, you know?
I like that.
So, there's my first vlog. You guys made me cry. Well, I made myself cry, but you have seen Funny 7. You ain't really seen Angry 7, where you kind of have.
Not trying to see that. No cow.
You have seen Emotional Crybaby 7. There we go. Yeah, continue to like and subscribe. If you feel like this channel is not for you based off our family, because I know, you know, everybody says they want real, and then they're like, oh wait, that's too real.
It's too real.
I'm fine with that too. Go ahead and peace out. Like, it doesn't make me any different, but if you want real raw all the time,
join the party.
Smash that button. Come on. What did Chick used to say? If you don't want somebody dancing on the stage, come on over. You guys will have fun with us. Trust me. Okay? So until next time, I'm one.
That was tough. That was tough. That was tough. She was real raw. She was real raw. I feel like a lot of times we're not open enough. We're not open enough, and it's so funny because I read a blog post the other day. For those of y'all who are still with me, I read a blog post the other day, and it was just like talking about ourselves in relationships makes us better in relationships, and I never really even thought about that like that. But some real shit. Hey man, yo, I appreciate y'all sticking with me to the end. If you did stick with me to the end, I'm gonna catch you on the next video, bro. Let's get it. Let's go.